Welcome to the video. First, we will clarify why short-term cash must stay safe and liquid. Next, we will compare high-yield savings accounts, Roth IRAs, and 529 plans for near-term goals. Finally, we will wrap up with action steps, a quick quiz, and a concise summary so you can move forward confidently. Here is today's agenda. We start by explaining why safety and liquidity outrank growth for short-term goals under 2 years. Then we break down why high-yield savings accounts are the ideal vehicle. After that, we debunk the Roth IRA myth for short-term use, consider a 529 plan's potential state tax benefits, and reinforce the importance of an emergency fund. We will use diagrams to visualize decisions and finish with quick setup steps and 2 quizzes. When a large expense is due within the next 2 years, your primary goal must be safety and liquidity. In other words, you should avoid taking risks that could jeopardize the principal or slow down access. Growth becomes a secondary objective because real-life deadlines take precedence over potential returns. This mindset prevents last-minute shortfalls. Here are the winning rules for short-term savings. First, if your time horizon is under 24 months, safety and liquidity must come before yield. Second, avoid volatile assets such as individual stocks, risky bonds, or crypto, because a drawdown could coincide with your due date. Third, maintain these funds in a separate account from your daily checking to reduce the temptation to spend. Finally, establish a fully funded emergency reserve of 3 to 6 months of expenses before you aggressively save for other short-term goals. The accompanying flowchart shows that if your goal is under 24 months, you should prioritize liquidity and use a high-yield savings account, which preserves principal and offers immediate access. High-yield savings accounts are the default for funds needed within roughly 18 months, and frankly up to 24 months if you want to be conservative. They are federally insured up to the legal limits and provide high liquidity, meaning you can access your cash quickly. Their yields are generally much higher than standard checking accounts, yet they do not risk the principal as long as you stay within insurance limits. Using a dedicated HYSA also reduces the temptation to invest money you will soon need. A practical tip is to nickname the account after your goal, such as Spring 2026 Tuition, to reinforce its purpose. To set up your HYSA, first choose a reputable bank or credit union offering a competitive annual percentage yield without monthly fees. Next, verify federal insurance coverage such as FDIC or NCUA, and understand any transfer limits or timelines. Then open the account and nickname it according to your goal. After that, automate transfers on each payday to build the balance reliably. Finally, keep this account separate from checking so that you do not spend the funds inadvertently. Although it is technically true that you can withdraw Roth IRA contributions tax and penalty-free, doing so for short-term needs undermines the account's purpose. The Roth IRA is designed for retirement, where decades of compounding generate substantial long-term growth. Using it as a temporary savings bucket reduces future retirement value and encourages counterproductive behavior. Therefore, avoid treating your Roth IRA as a near-term fund for tuition or emergencies. On the left, the high-yield savings account preserves principal, provides fast access, and offers better yields than checking. This combination is ideal for expenses due within 18 to 24 months. On the right, the Roth IRA may be invested in volatile assets and is intended for long-term retirement growth. Withdrawing contributions for short-term needs reduces the long-term compounding advantage. Therefore, for short-term goals, prefer the HYSA and reserve the Roth IRA for retirement. Some states provide a tax deduction or credit for 529 contributions. If you will spend the funds soon on qualified educational expenses, you might benefit from the immediate state tax savings, even over a short period. However, use conservative, cash-like options inside the 529 to limit volatility. Carefully review any plan fees, investment restrictions, and distribution rules. Finally, compare the tax benefit against costs to ensure the net effect is positive. This table compares common vehicles. HYSAs have high liquidity and no principal risk within insurance limits, though yields are modest. Roth IRAs carry market risk if invested, and while they offer tax-free retirement growth, they are inappropriate for short-term tuition. 529 plans can provide state tax benefits and tax-free qualified withdrawals, but involve plan rules and potentially variable risk. Treasury bills have low risk if held to maturity, with moderate liquidity and sometimes competitive yields. Short-term CDs offer predictable returns but can include penalties for early withdrawal. This mind map centers on the short-term goal of less than 24 months. The first branch emphasizes safety and liquidity, highlighting options like a high-yield savings account, treasury bills, and short-term certificates of deposit. The second branch lists what to avoid, including stocks, risky bonds, and crypto, because their volatility can jeopardize money needed on a fixed date. The third branch addresses account management, such as keeping funds separate from checking, nicknaming the account for clarity, and setting up automatic transfers. The final branch notes the prerequisite of a 3 to 6 month emergency fund before accelerating savings for other goals. Before focusing on any near-term goal, build an emergency fund covering 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. Keep this reserve in a secure, liquid account separate from your daily checking. Once this buffer is in place, you can redirect cash flow toward your specific short-term target. The Gantt chart illustrates an example timeline. First, assess current reserves, then build the emergency fund, open a high-yield savings account, and automate transfers to maintain consistent progress. Question 1. You need $12,000 for tuition due in 12 months. Where should you keep the money? Option A is a high-yield savings account. Option B is a Roth IRA invested in a stock index fund. Option C is a single growth stock brokerage account. Option D is a cryptocurrency wallet. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is A, a high-yield savings account. It provides principal protection, liquidity, and a reasonable yield without risking a loss right before the bill is due. Stocks and crypto can suffer drawdowns at the worst possible time, and a Roth IRA should be preserved for retirement growth, not short-term obligations. Question 2. True or false? It is smart to treat a Roth IRA like a short-term parking spot because you can withdraw contributions anytime. Option A is true. Option B is false. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B, false. While you can withdraw contributions, doing so for short-term needs undermines the Roth IRA's purpose and sacrifices long-term compounding that makes the account so powerful for retirement. These are the key takeaways. If your goal is under 24 months, prioritize safety and liquidity. A high-yield savings account is the default choice for funds needed within 18 to 24 months. Do not use the Roth IRA for short-term needs because it compromises retirement compounding. Evaluate the potential of a 529 plan if your state provides a meaningful tax benefit. Finally, keep goal funds separate and establish a 3 to 6 month emergency reserve before pursuing other objectives. Please note this content is educational and not financial, tax, or legal advice. Individual circumstances vary, and regulations change. Consult a qualified professional who can evaluate your specific situation before implementing any strategy. To wrap up, open or optimize a high-yield savings account and label it clearly for your goal. Next, automate transfers and keep the account separate from checking to maintain discipline. Finally, if education is the target, evaluate any state tax benefits of a 529 plan and, for near-term needs, select cash-like options within the plan. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, please like the video, share it with someone preparing for a near-term bill, and subscribe for more. Tell us your current short-term goal in the comments so we can create content that helps you hit it on time.